thing on this ACT initiative, after 2 years, here's how I look at it. I know I drive you crazy talking about it. For me, on good days and on bad days, it's my mirror. And I gotta look in that mirror, and some days over the last 2 years, many days, I think I've lived up to that. But some days, invariably, you fall short. What I can report back after a couple years is that if you're in business, if you're in government work, wherever you do work, you need to have your own ACT. You need to have your own mirror in which to look in to measure yourself by. So this is for me and how I hold myself accountable. Am I living up to this? We're going to come back to this quote a number of times, and I think it's very important. It's the Martin Luther King quote that's a little less known than some of his others. All of life is interrelated. We are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied to a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all. Here's a hard transition. Wait to the next one. Me, my senior year, 1991, and there's a very important reason I share that. Some of the policy discussions that we're going to have today actually occurred back around this time. If you're wondering what Mayor McNamara was doing about that time, he likes to point out that he is more youthful than I am. 1991. What do those pictures tell us? A lot has changed since 1991, and a lot has changed in our community since 1971 and 51. Here's a challenge, is that discussions about the future, when we have them, and they're tough, far too often are really regurgitated discussions of the past. And to go forward, we cannot always go backwards to the game plan that we had yesterday. We cannot disregard the past. We can respect it, but we cannot cling to it either. Let's talk about something you probably haven't heard about any at all in the news, is this discussion of the position of chairman. But let's pull it apart. Let's talk about the chairman position versus the person who is the chairman. I think that's important. The permanency of the position of chairman is more important than my permanency as the chairman. It is more important that we have a permanent chairman position. Regardless of what that position is going to be in the future, it needs to be steady and locked in through thick and thin. That is why I firmly believe that we need a chairman referendum, and that we need to go to our voters and have us tell us how they want to see the future of the position. As it stands, the future of the chairman position is not clear. It could be changed every other week with just 11 votes. I do not believe that is the best way to have these excruciatingly tough policy discussions. We are solving problems. This county board and this county and many other municipal partners are attempting to solve very difficult, long-standing, complex problems. And if the job can change based on policy disagreement, I think it snuffs out great dialogue. People are cynical of us politicians because of what's going on in Washington, in Springfield, and at times here locally. I need you to know when I say this, I'm not talking about me. This is about the permanency of the position. And to that end, the natural question is, hey Frank, you're going to run in 2020? And the answer is no, I am not. I want to focus on the permanency and having a community discussion on the future of this position. I don't want to make it about me. I think that's very, very important that we separate out the two. So I will not be seeking re-election, but I want to have this community focus on the future of this position.